Hello everyone, welcome to GGPoker Showdown Round 3. I'm Chris Page. I'm joined tonight by Terry Fleurs, by Hugh Wizzy, by Henry Wright, and of course by Simeon Daniel. We'll be discussing all of the latest news around the Premier League, and we'll be playing Round 3 of our GGPoker with the in-person finale coming up very, very soon. So I'll pass you over to our host for this evening, one Mr. Terry Fleurs.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope we're all well and good and healthy. I need a good night tonight, though, because I'm currently bottom of the leaderboard, and that's all I've really thought about all week is where I'm going to end up in the league, because I feel a bit like Man United at the moment, the worst ever, the worst player. So, yes, tune in, buckle in, a bit of football chat, but more importantly, watching me take these gentlemen down in poker. But aside from that, how are we all, boys? Everyone well and good? Healthy?
Very well, very healthy. And looking forward to tonight. We've got a big game in store.
Yes. Yeah, I'm second at the moment, just behind Chris. I'm coming for that first position. I'm coming for it.
Oh, I'm third. It's Hugh that's first.
Oh God! Oh yeah, you are.
Although I think I should.
Whoever's first, I'm coming for it.
I should be joint second though. I'm going to keep highlighting this because me and Henry went out on the same hand in week 1. I was given 1 point and Henry was given 3 points. I think those should have been shared equally. Those 4 points. So I should be on 12 points. Just saying.
You both should get 0 first out. That's 0.
I think VAR disagrees with that.
Do you know what that is, though, Chris? That reminds me of when Liverpool came second on 99 points and wanted the trophy. Come on now. That's not how it works. Do you know what I mean? You had the worst hand. You had the worst hand. You had to go out.
Yeah, we never got 99 points that season.
Or how many points it was, 97, 98, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was 97. But we didn't ask for a trophy. We didn't ask for a trophy.
No, I heard the phone-in shows. I heard people ringing in. We should have a trophy. We know. Not you men at Red Men, but a lot of Liverpool fans did.
No.
That was great. That was great.
No, fake Liverpool fans, mate. Man United fans dressed up as Liverpool fans for the radio.
That's the way
you know that happens.
That's what you guys always say. Whenever a Liverpool fan says something embarrassing, go, that's an Everton fan, that's definitely an Everton fan.
So I'll get out of jail free card for the idiots.
No, but yeah, all of our fan bases have. I heard a City fan phone in to TalkSport the other day and rage about how Pep's lost the dressing room, how he's ruining the players. There's nothing wrong with the players, it's all Pep. And then they said, would you get rid of Pep? He went, no, you can't sack Pep. Didn't even make sense. It didn't even make sense. But there we go. TalkSport callers.
He might be unsackable, Pep, to be fair. How can you want to sack a manager who's won 4 in the row titles? It's not possible.
Well, he's allowed a year off, isn't he? Especially with Roger. But they look like they're signing a whole bunch of players anyway. I'm expecting them to sign more as well. Maybe a midfielder soon. So they could be back.
I think they are going to be back.
It's so annoying that though, isn't it?
Winning leagues or just competing?
I mean, I don't see why they can't win leagues. Yeah, I don't see why not.
You still think they can win the Premier League?
Maybe not this year, but they can definitely do better than people are thinking. They're a side that are capable of putting together a run of 10, 15 wins in a row. And, you know, I'm expecting Champions League, maybe even, I don't know, third, second. It wouldn't surprise me.
What about the Champions League?
What is the gap between Liverpool and Arsenal right now compared
6 points.
to Arsenal and City?
I've no idea. I think we were 15 ahead of City.
You're 12 with a game in hand, I think.
Yeah.
12 with the game, 12 ahead with the game in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping we finish ahead of them then, but, you know, strange to think.
What about City to win the Champions League? They're definitely capable of that. Why not?
No, I think Arsenal are more capable than City this season of winning the Champions League, in my opinion.
If results go against them and they don't for whatever beat Club Brugge, they're out.
Yeah, they're struggling. They're struggling to stay in it.
Yeah, even if Bruges just win, they're out, aren't they?
Yeah, if City lose, they're out.
City have got to win. City have got to win. They can't draw or defeat. The thing is, they can put a run together. I used to think that. Watching them against PSG, look, PSG are not very good. They looked good in that game, but that was because of City. They had a few good results against Salford City. They had a good result against Ipswich. But even when they beat Leicester had 4 or 5 golden chances to score. I think West Ham should have been 2 or 3-0 up against them. It's like they played Chelsea this weekend, and honestly, as long as Chelsea convert some chances, I think they might score 3 or 4 past them like Spurs did. This City team, I think, just mentally is checked out. and they've got no. It's the third time in like 2 months they've had a 2-0 lead and not won the game. And if 3-0 lead against Feyenoord thrown away, 2-0 against Brentford, threw it away, 2-0 up against Paris Saint-Germain, lost 4-2. They are awful, and like their fans were praising the signings this week until that PSG game. And all I'm seeing from City fans everywhere now is we've spent all this money, but there's no midfielder. The midfielder's getting run through. What are we doing? I worry again. I don't worry about City. I hope they lose, but I think Chelsea could absolutely rip them to shreds this weekend. I really do.
The thing for me is, yeah, they definitely need that. But I think back to when we lost about 6 home games on the bounce, didn't we, a couple of years ago after going unbeaten at home for like 3 years. And a journalist, her name's Emma Sanders, said to me at the time, she's like, it takes absolutely ages to convince teams that they're beaten before they step on the field. But once you've been beaten and once you've proved that you'll lose a 2-goal lead, it's so difficult to get that back because it just takes a year, 2 years again. And that's what City, they've lost that mystique that they can't be beaten. They've lost that mystique now that once they're ahead, they'll win the game and they'll steamroll the teams. And everybody just believes that they're going to get something out of the game. And I think you're seeing teams play them in a different way this season. And the start of that comes down to the belief that they can actually win the game.
I agree with that, but I feel like that was definitely happening for a good 6 weeks. But I've seen in recent weeks, I know they're still losing their leads and stuff, but they're definitely a bit more of an attacking force. De Bruyne's getting back into form. Foden's definitely coming back into form now. I think Savio is starting to find his feet in that front line. Haaland's starting to score goals again. When you add into that Marmoush, you add into that Kuzanov, the centre-back, I think they're going to sign another midfielder. I don't know this, I can't remember his name, but he's going to add legs into that midfield as well. I think that form will start to turn, and I think it already is starting to turn already. And I think they definitely need legs in that midfield. That's what's costing them at the moment. But I think once all that starts to gel, which might take a couple of weeks, but once it happens, I think they're going to be a serious team again. I really believe that.
Tim, do you think they can get top 4?
Yeah, for sure. For sure they can get top 4.
I don't think they will get top 4. I don't think they're as good as Arsenal, Forest, or Liverpool. And I think Newcastle, for me right now, I'd back them because of the Isak, because of Gordon. If the worst thing for Manchester City in terms of their league form would be to stay in the Champions League. I think that I know people have been ripping Arsenal to shreds for getting knocked out of the FA Cup. And I know it's poor to lose to Man United, but at least they've got just 2 they've got to focus on now. Liverpool are still in 4 competitions. And the amount of injuries that are happening this season, imagine if Salah goes down at the weekend.
Imagine.
No, let's not imagine. I don't like to imagine that type of stuff. That's not like something you'd imagine. That's your worst nightmare. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we've never had backups for him. Can I ask a question about Liverpool to you guys? Do you think Liverpool need to sign a left back or a player to win the Premier League this season?
Yes, 100%. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Go and get that fullback from Bournemouth. That is it Kyrgios?
Milos Kyrgios.
He's perfect. Robertson's 30 years of age. You can bring him in. You can learn from Robertson. If Robertson gets injured, I don't trust Tsimikas enough. And I just think with results in the last month or so where you have slipped up a couple of times, you haven't lost too many games, but it's the draws. And if Arsenal, for whatever reason, if they get Acuna or a Sesko over the line, I think the hunt will be on. And if you get an injury to that back line, obviously Van Dijk's the glue. But I'm looking around going, is Trent's head in at Madrid? Konate, fitness issues. Gomez, and then Kwanzaa. I think that left-back position, if you bring someone else in of his standard at Bournemouth. I mean, the Newcastle game, it was absolutely phenomenal. That goal at the end as well,
it's brilliant.
Great
goal.
Strike. I don't know what he's going to be available for, imagine 30, 40 mil. But you just need someone else to only bring in Federico Chiesa, because I'm not going to count Mamadashvili because he's not even there yet, but to only bring in Chiesa, and even him, there's links to him back to Napoli to replace, as I call him, Cravadonna, because I can't pronounce his name either.
Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, him. I just think it'd be criminal. If you won the league, though, with only signing Federico Chiesa, fair play to Slot and those players. By all means, it's not a terrible squad, but you need to strengthen.
Not a terrible
100%.
squad. What are we talking about?
Unbelievable squad.
It is, but you still need new legs in there. There's a lot of players in that team that are over. You've got Van Dijk's over 30, Alisson's over 30, Salah's over 30. You know that
I don't know about that.
I
I
personally
think
think they
maybe
need
you're
to
giving him a bit too much credit. I think we've gone overboard. I hate to say it, but I think we're going overboard with the slot thing here because the performances have been unbelievable. Yes, the results have been fantastic, but let's not pretend like the squad is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you got one key piece that you're saying needs replacing, but honestly, that's surely the job of the coach to impress us, to get you over the line with that one piece that you thought needed improving. Or are we just buying, like, what's the difference then between it being like, you know, a generically called like oil situation or whatever we're calling it?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that all football fans, including Liverpool supporters, I think we underestimated this Liverpool team because of how last season went under
Or how it
Jurgen.
ended. It only ended badly, really.
But it did. But then I think and we all do this. Hindsight's lucrative, isn't it? We saw when Klopp announced he was leaving, he spoke about how tired he was and how he sort of lost a bit of oomph. And that was why that Liverpool team wasn't as good the last year or so.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen a new manager go in with new ideas, slightly new ideas. I think he said it himself, Slot. They haven't reinvented the wheel, some subtle changes and a new voice. A change is as good as a rest. And Liverpool are back to their absolute best. And I think that there is this sort of narrative of, oh my God, it's so embarrassing for everybody else. But people talk about Liverpool as those Slots come in and it's a brand new rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Slot has just taken over a well-run club and a well-run team that's been built over a 15-year period. And I'm talking the ethos of the club, everything. And he's taken over. It's like this idea that when Pep leaves and somebody else new comes in, yes, it's a hard job because of the expectations. But as long as they bring in a very competent, very good, high-quality coach, it's that City are not just going to fall off the edge of a cliff. And that's why those clubs have structured themselves in a way where they're not built upon the image of a manager like Clough and Forest, Man United and Fergie, Arsenal and Wenger. That's
I actually don't agree about the City part that you just said there, man.
You don't?
No, because City falling apart they already have the unbelievable coach. They already have that. It's not like Pep can't come up with a plan. What they have is they don't have a complete puzzle. They have bits that they've been putting together for a while now. Where is Rico Lewis? Who is he? What is he? What is he developing into? Is he a DM? Is he a right back? He's playing at number 10. Where is he? Who is he? What he's doing is filling in wherever possible, and they need a reset, a complete reset. That is for sure. The midfield, look, it's just not City. The City that we've come to know. It's slow, it's tired. It doesn't actually have the composure or consistency that Rodri brings.
Yeah,
they've got a complete shifting in shape, in personnel. And with Liverpool, you've got people who are, yes, there's a couple of bits. I guess Gravenberch being the main part, he's shifted him. But apart from that, you've got people that are solidified. You've got Real Madrid want Trent. You've got Konate, who starts for France. You've got Van Dijk, who's arguably the top 3 defenders we've ever seen in the country. You've got Alisson, who's probably the best keeper in the world. Like, that's a good start. And then up top, we've got options galore. Like, this is a wealth of options. You're bringing people off the bench who start for every other team in the league.
But a year ago, the point is, at the end of Klopp, no, people wouldn't have been that confident as you are now about this squad. And I look at City and think, we're not really going to get a preseason this year, but with 2 or 3 good additions, I don't think they're suddenly going to be this team that falls off. They've had a terrible year this year, which has happened to a number of champions. It's been awful. And I think it's been a couple of things. A few players have aged out. There's been some poor recruitment, which has been quite rare for them. And then they've also had some injury problems, all kind of hit at the same time. And almost this element of, we've won a lot of trophies. We're a little bit bloated. Maybe a little bit of motivation is gone. But I don't look at this City, the club, as broken. 2 or 3 good additions, front, back and centre, and have already started that process. I don't necessarily think the whole club's going to fall apart. And by the time Pep leaves in 2 years, I think they'll have rebuilt the squad enough where as long as they bring in a very good, competent coach, I don't feel like we're going to see this City team and City as a club just fall to the wayside. In the same way as a lot of the big clubs in Europe that are structured as the head coach and manager comes in and coaches the first team, but the structure in itself around it is more of a continuous process. You may see them have bad years, but they don't fall off and do what Man United have done and had 11 years in the wilderness. The only time that's happened is when teams have got into financial trouble and their league's been in financial trouble, like AC Milan in Serie A as an example. But the way they're structured is that the manager isn't the be all and end all of any of these clubs. And that's why I've been asking my club for 11 years to change how we're structured. I don't think you can be built in a way anymore where you're solely reliant on one manager, his style, and there's not the ability to be agile and move on to somebody else. And I think Liverpool have shown in the transition from Klopp to Slot that if you set it up right, you can maintain quality whether you change managers or not. So yeah, I'm not confident that City will fall away for a long period of time. They'll have bad seasons because everybody does, like this year, but they're going to spend the money and get straight back up there, I feel.
I think to answer Chris's question, if they need to sign someone to win the league, I don't think they do, but I think they are risking it if they don't. I think if they do sign a couple, but 1 or 2 players, they'll probably walk the league, to be honest. I think it'll be comfortable.
I definitely feel that way about Arsenal. Arsenal not going into the market.
Yes, Arsenal for sure. If they don't sign a forward, I can't see them winning the league.
It smells of like, okay, we're just going to sort of see what happens this year. If it works, it works. But
I think if Liverpool don't sign someone and Arsenal do, it becomes dicey. I think it definitely becomes a bit dicey for Liverpool, especially if one of Salah or Van Dijk.
It's a huge opportunity.
I still think they'll win the league even if they don't sign someone, just because the consistency for Arsenal just isn't there at the moment in terms of like, can they see them going on a similar run to what they did last season? I don't know. But I think from Liverpool's point of view, I would look to dip into the market if I can and get an addition, because I think that would just like proof you for the second half of the season. Make sure you can get over that line fairly comfortably instead of leaving out the chance. I feel a bit.
I think that's it, isn't it? I think there's holes in every squad. You could improve probably all the squads in the Premier League. The big thing for me is I don't know whether Liverpool will sign someone like a Kirkes in January. It doesn't seem like when you've got 2 left backs already, they'd go and sign a third one when you probably need maybe a centre half or something because they're closer to the side. I think the other thing is, I take your point, Tim, about risking it. I probably agree with that as well, actually. But you can also say that like how many signings would increase your points per game to a point if you're Arsenal where you actually do catch Liverpool. And that's the situation they're talking about with the striker. It's like, look, find us another striker who is potentially gettable, who is going to get more goals than the guys we're getting already. It's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah. Unless you get Gyökeres for 65, whatever his release clause is, if you could just do that. I don't know if that's the right decision.
They've just been, by the way, I want to say a big shout out to everyone watching. Please get like buttons hit and share. We're now playing round 3 of the GGPoker showdown. If you want to play the biggest online poker firm out there, if you want to get involved, if you want to get it downloaded, the link's in all of our descriptions. You can get it done right now. Over £25 million is actually being given away in prizes over the course of this next year for GGPoker as well. So get yourself signed up. You've got to be over the age of 18, but go and check it out. But only ever have a little flutter with what you can afford to lose. Be responsible with it. Have a little bit of fun like we are. But the serious stuff started now because the game has begun. Those blinds are going to shoot up highly. But some breaking news about Arsenal from David Ornstein is that Arsenal are in talks to sign the young lad, I think it's pronounced Napan from Rosenborg, the 18-year-old midfielder. It says Arsenal are working on a deal to sign him. So maybe that's who you guys are looking at, Hugh. Is that enough, in your opinion?
Well, it's not what we're after, is it? We're just dancing around the situation. It's like we're doing everything we can to not do what we need to do. I don't have a problem then. Like Zubimendi, it's like fantastic, great, but it's in the summer and it's not helping now, and it's not what we're after. So, yeah, slightly frustrating, but
Chris, let me ask you: do you think if you get this situation right, if you do win the league this season and then build correctly, do you think there's a chance you could have a bit of a City era of a bit of dominance, like 2 or 3 in a row?
I think it's probably the hardest era to do it in, isn't it? Because it seems like anybody can sort of beat anybody at the moment. But I do think there will be a confidence that comes to this Liverpool side and Slot that, we could improve drastically. I think it was interesting, obviously, that we only did sign Federico Chiesa in the summer. I think, everyone looked at it like, what were we doing? But the year we won the league, we didn't sign anybody. I've actually had a super chat here for you, actually, Terry, as well. Imran Adam has sent us £5, who says, when we got 97 points, we did get a trophy. We won the Champions League. I think that one was aimed at you, mate, which I think is quite amusing.
Fair play.
So I think, look, I think there'll be a confidence that comes with it, and I don't think we're the finished article yet either. Obviously, I go to every game at home anyway. I watch the away games in the studio nowadays, and I think Liverpool can only get better. And that's the interesting thing for me, is that like I don't think we're 70% of the team that what Slot could build us into. But I also recognise that if Virgil van Dijk leaves, if Trent Alexander-Arnold leaves, and if Mo Salah leaves, this might be the best side that Slot ever actually manages, because you've got to get those transfers right. Now, I think 2 or 3 will stay, but that's a scary thought because they've not signed. And I think that's maybe causing some indecision in the market, because you don't know for definite what your summer business is going to be. So yeah, it's fascinating for me. But like getting that league title, I mean, if we can do that, goodness me, we could become a force.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Just on that Arsenal update that's come through, what has been said is that Arsenal are working on a deal to sign the young lad from Rosenborg. No agreement or decision on the 18-year-old future situation open, which they always say. He then goes on here, Ornstein, to say, after the injury to Gabriel Jesus, Arsenal still hope to strengthen their attack this month with long-term targets like Benjamin Sesko looking unattainable. They are now considering alternative targets. When you hear an update like that, Hugh, I mean, and you just said that Liverpool want to sign someone, but maybe, just maybe, there's a sort of, I know Liverpool wants someone, but if Arsenal don't do anything, then maybe there isn't as big a necessity for Liverpool to do so. But when you hear that kind of update, obviously a briefing from Arsenal, what level of confidence does that fill you with that you'll get something done?
Well, I guess that is something. Again, we're just dancing around the issue. We're looking for a striker to take us to the next level. If anything, a front man who can play across the line, you know. And we've got a couple of players who are on the way out. I would imagine Gabriel Jesus is one of them, both in terms of like his future and
get out of here, lads.
But yeah, look, it's difficult. I don't know why they haven't done it in the summer, if I'm honest. And you know, he may well be dying on the hill with this, with a couple of his moves not really playing out so far. Sterling is another one that, you know, it's
what's going on with Sterling? What's your opinion? Why is not working?
Not a lot, to be honest.
He can't kick a football.
He needs game time, to be fair to the guy. But
he can't kick a football.
It's over, isn't it? He's at the end of the hill. So
what, his legs are gone, you think, or it's a mental thing? What do you think it is?
I mean, I don't know. A lot's happened, isn't it? He's not getting any younger either. So, but I was quite shocked that they did it again, and you know, we look to be this adoption service, don't we? We're happy to take people in and fix them. We're fixers. So yeah, I thought, you know, maybe he can do his thing here, but it's another Willian, really. It's literally no different.
I think Rashford's going to sign on deadline day.
No, I mean, look, I'm not going to entertain it just because
I'm not even trying to take the mick. I just think
it's a
that's
joke.
what they'll do.
If that is the case, yeah, I mean, it just says everything really about the planning that's going on behind the scenes. I know there are a lot of changes happening with Edu leaving, but
yeah, I was going to ask you that because there's a lot of reports saying Arteta has more control now. What do you kind of make of that? Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing?
I'd imagine he's got almost complete control. But the guy who was working alongside Edu, Jason A2.
Oh, are you kidding me? I had pocket kings and everyone folds.
He has basically been doing most of the work anyway for Edu, apparently. Edu just saying yes or no to things that he was bringing to his table. So I don't think it's like a lot has actually changed in terms of, you know, what's being offered, but it is probably just Arteta making the decisions now. So yeah, in some ways, I'm not sure if that is the best idea. I would like someone who is, you know, an experienced director of football. And, you know, a sporting guy that can take us in a direction where top players are attracted and, you know, he's looking for profiles that are slightly different to what we've got already. Because I don't know why, but we do have a lot of a very similar profile. And
Do you think Cunha would also? He's. I think if it's not going to be Rashford, he's probably the one that will get signed. But if Forest, like me and Terry were speaking about this on the terrace the other day, they're happy to put 65 million down for him. Forest, like surely Arsenal can match that or beat that.
yeah, it's big money, but he's a top player. People are underestimating him where it comes to the price tag. He's played at top clubs already in a few different leagues. He's proven he can do it in the league, in the Prem. And, he had, I guess, aspirations of the move to Wolves becoming something slightly different. I was told that he was going to be surrounded by new signings who are going to take Wolves to competing for Europe. And obviously that isn't the case. So he's bemused, and the situation with the manager looks like there is an opening there, is a potential opening there. So the thing is with Arsenal, are they willing to basically use money in this deal or in any deal really in January, which is going to take away from big things that they're planning on doing in the summer? At least that is the excuse that we're hearing. It sounds very samey to me, same old Arsenal. And we have been here before where it's just one thing that we need to get us over the line, most often a midfielder or a striker. So I don't have much faith, if I'm honest, and I can see it being a loan deal on deadline day for someone from abroad.
Let's go.
No, not at all.
Let's go.
Their sporting director and his agent have both said that Arsenal haven't made any approaches because they don't want him to leave, or their club, Leipzig, don't want him to leave yet. That's, again, a potential summer deal. So I'll be honest, like, it sounds really demoralising for fans who know that, all we need to do is go big and we can just get over the line. But I don't think they're doing it like that. I think it's, it's
have Arsenal had any
with
problems?
the financial stuff in mind.
Sorry, Hugh. Have Arsenal had any problems with PSR or anything?
This is the thing. Technically, no. We are, as far as I'm aware, or would be able to spend 150 million without going over. But obviously, they're not going to operate like that. No smart business is going to just put everything into it. So it's, part of being patient with the process. I guess that's what we're being sold. And I will be honest, when I look at the options that are available, who out there is the guaranteed goal getter who takes us to the next level? And I can only personally think of,
Osimhen?
Yeah, it's Osimhen. There's like three. It's the same four people that you keep hearing about. And some of those guys are just not gettable. It is very unlikely that, Isak is going to be able to be, you can prize him away from a club who don't really, maybe to balance the books they would like, but they don't need to sell. So I am crossing him off the list. And then you got Gyökeres, Vlahovic, who I'm not convinced about at all. And I don't know where else we go.
Buemo?
Sorry, Mbeumo.
Yeah, or Buemo from Brentford.
Again, you're talking about a big money deal, though.
It's a big money deal, and also it sort of hinders Nwaneri's progress, Saka when he comes back.
The thing is, though, you're not in a position, you've got to bring someone in. You have to. If you don't, let's just be honest, you're not winning silverware. If it was announced right now, Fabrizio Romano, here we go, Gyökeres signs for Arsenal, Liverpool fans are automatically thinking, right, now we've got a battle. Right now, they're thinking, there's just not that huge amount of firepower, is there?
I agree with you. I do agree with you, Henry. But on the flip side of that, okay, if that's the mentality that those teams are actually going into the next 20-odd games with, then bring it on, because that would be the wrong mentality and you would be likely to slip up to someone who you're underestimating. I don't think that's the case. But
Do you think then, Hugh, if you don't sign anyone with the injuries you've got, you can still win the league?
I doubt. Honestly, mate, I don't know if we can win the league even with a signing. You've got to bed that signing in. They've got to move country. They're speaking a different language. They've never played with these players before. They don't understand the system. It's very unlikely that even a top player coming in would make a massive difference, as far as I'm concerned.
Can I ask, just so I understand where you're coming from? So from your point of view, you're not overly frustrated if you don't go out and try and sign that star player for those reasons.
I'm an Arsenal fan.
No, I get it,
I'm
but
pushing
obviously
40. Yeah?
Go on. Sorry,
So
go on.
I've been around the block and I know this club like the back of my hand. I don't care about what kind of merch we're releasing or what kind of PR statements they're putting out through whichever journalist. I've seen this all before. I know the lingo that everybody is using when they don't know anything. And when they don't know anything, it's because they haven't been briefed. The people that are being briefed are giving out a tone which suggests we're not going to be doing that much. Okay. And
okay. And I understand that, but I'm more interested in you're saying that when we've asked a few questions tonight, you sort of said we're not doing too much. We're beating around the sort of the point that's going on. I'm asking what you want to see happen. Because
we need to sign a serious striker, Terry.
But at the same breath, you've also said that you're not even sure they're going to come in and make a difference because they can't embed in that 6 months. So that sounds
risk. Every transfer is a risk.
Yeah. So you
can spend an 80. Look at Darwin. Darwin gives you moments where you think, wow, this guy could be unreal. But how we're like 2.5 seasons in, I think, and we're still trying to work out exactly how we fit this guy in. So it's not a guarantee. You know, these guys. I don't know. Haaland is like an exception to the rule. It's an anomaly. I don't know that. Say we were to even in a dream world, my dream scenario, we were just to pop Isak from that black and white shirt into a red and white one. Yeah.
Mm.
Does he end up winning us the league? I don't know.
And I think that's a fair take to have. I'm just trying to understand your view on it, which seems very balanced. And I'm just trying to understand where you stand because you speak to one Gooner, I've spoken to loads on my channel in the last however many months. Some are we have to buy someone no matter what, go and get it done. And there are others at the other end saying, no, I don't want to rush it. It should be the number one target only. And if it's only available in the summer, we should wait. And I'm just interested to know what, if you could wave a magic wand, would you take the risk or would you rather wait into the summer so they could be embedded into a new country, a new system within a pre-season? What do you think is the best thing for Arsenal to do?
In terms of winning a trophy and short-term vision and what I want as a fan, because I'm so sick of waiting, yeah, go and sign a big player, please. I'm sick of and tired of like talking about transfers and them not materialising, for sure, especially strikers. In terms of a business, I think it's probably better planning to do things properly. Don't rush into a deal that, you're not even 100% about. Right? How do we fit a player who isn't the profile that we're looking for in after people start coming back from injury?
That's the point, Q. I think that's a brilliant point, mate. I really do, man. I think the well-run clubs, and I count Arsenal as one of them, don't fucking panic. And people will maybe look at this and say, oh, you haven't got the balls for the fight, or your aspirations aren't high enough. But well-run clubs don't panic, you know what I mean? And you see clubs who are struggling who go out and try and fix things. Like if Arsenal end up signing 2 or 3 players in a panic mode, that squad's just bloated, and then everybody's unhappy, and then all this happens, and then it's all flushed down the toilet for what? For potential short-term gain.
And the thing is, I'm here for the short-term gain. I'm literally like, come on, we're more than 2 decades in for this title. The wait it's becoming painful, but I get it, because what they're trying to do, even though I do think that they've made a few mistakes, that happens. Like every transfer is a risk. Along the way, we made a couple of errors, few errors. Sometimes I wonder if they've got the right person in charge of doing this.
Then how much do you hold Arteta accountable if you don't sign someone and you end up not winning anything? Because a lot of fans have been saying if you don't win anything in this season, he's got to go because it's been too long, or be his 5th year or something without winning something. So a lot of people, that's their opinion. Like, is that a fair opinion, even if you base off you don't sign anyone? Because he's still got good players there, right?
I guess it depends on whether you think that the boards are fully backing him. And I know that there's a sort of conversation to be had about that on either side. I reckon he's had a lot of money in terms of what Arsenal managers have historically been given, but actually in comparison with the rest of the league, I don't know that we're doing anything different, anything that would really set us apart. especially with the money that's coming into the Prem now. So I actually say we're going to see what the board are made of and what they think of him, really, in this window and next. He says the right things in a lot of the...
Good quality there, Sim. Quality there, Sim. That was quality.
He says a lot of the right things in press conferences right now. Some of the things which remind me of how Wenger used to speak. Basically begging the board in public, saying, other teams have options off the bench that he just hasn't. And, I think he knows now that he has to say the right things as well to appease fans slightly, because, it's undeniable. We're creating still a lot of chances. It's just...
He was getting a bit tetchy in his presses today.
He was, wasn't he?
He was getting a bit tetchy, asked about whether he thinks they need players and stuff. And the journalist saying, "You don't agree that you're desperate for players, right?" And he was saying, "I don't agree. What do you mean I don't agree? Where did you get that opinion from?" And he was saying, "Yeah, you don't agree. You've got a good team, right?" He's like, "I never said I don't agree." He was like, then he was like, "Well, do you agree?" He's like, "We need players." That's what he was saying. He was just getting a bit tetchy with the guy there. I thought that was quite interesting. I wonder if it's he's not happy with I'm sure he's not happy with the situation, just like probably Ange isn't happy with the situation.
Yeah, at the same time though, I will. There's been a few managers today. I think Silva at Fulham, Man United's manager as well, all frustrated at some of the questions. And what's his name? Amorim come out today and was like, "I want to talk about the game ahead. Can we stop asking questions over and over and over and over and over and over again about players coming in and players going out?" I've answered those on other days. And I think there is an element where managers do get frustrated because it's the same questions over and over again with, I've just asked you a question on the show to try and understand his full position so I understand it. I've asked it. He's given an answer. I'll leave it now. Well, imagine if every time Hugh came on, I asked him the same question about the same topic again, and eventually he's going to snap and say, "Shut the fuck up, Terry." and that'd be fair play, because it must get absolutely infuriating being asked, and they can't talk about it anyway. There's rules against speaking about other teams' players and everything else. So yeah, I don't think it's so much frustration with the situation. I think it's the continual head pecking about the same questions that they're not even allowed to bloody answer, if that makes sense. But aside from Arsenal, Chelsea are on the brink of agreeing a deal, according to a lot of the reports, for Man United Alejandro Garnacho. Chris, what do you make of that? Because Chelsea fans seem to be fuming about this.
Garnacho to Chelsea.
Yeah.
It seems this is where the problems with PSR are, aren't they? I think it comes down to, like, Manchester United should be able to keep hold of players that they've brought through. I think he's a good prospect, but I don't think he's the finished product yet. And Chelsea have got loads of good prospects in and around their squad and stuff. Like, it would seem mad that Man United and Chelsea do a deal for Garnacho. If we weren't in the PSR world, this deal does not happen. So read into that what you will, like.
Yeah, I understand that.
There's rumours of Nkunku Garnacho going the other way, and I think that would just be a horrific deal if Chelsea were to agree to that. Why would you let go of Nkunku to get someone like Garnacho in when you've got wingers there like Neto, you've got Madueke, who are much better than someone like Garnacho and Nkunku? Players of his quality don't come around too often. I think they're not even making the best use of him at the moment. I think he's a quality player, and if United were to get hold of him, that would be a brilliant signing for them, and it would really be perfect for Amorim. And that would be, I think, United, because Garnacho doesn't really fit in with what United are trying to do under Amorim, in my opinion. Because I think the best place for Garnacho under Amorim would be a wing back, because I don't think he's good enough to play in those 10 positions. It's a bit too central for him, so he needs that space out wide. And I don't know if he's got the defensive nous to kind of be a wing back, so that would be the best position for him. And I think Nkunku would just be absolutely perfect there. But for Chelsea, letting go of someone like Nkunku for Garnacho, I don't see that being a good deal for them. I don't see how they're getting commensurate quality there. Well, will you take Nkunku, wouldn't you, Terry?
I'm a bit concerned about his injury record, in the sense of, he's had I know he's not been out injured this season, but he's not playing in a lot of the sort of overly and highly competitive games. I'm going to go in for this. Probably going to knock.
Oh, hello.
Oh, one sec. Hey, you're right.
I got it. Oh, I got it. I got
Yeah,
it.
you
I got it. There we go.
Yeah, I was wondering,
I needed that as I was gone.
Was
I
that an
needed
ace
that.
high? I was
I
wondering if it was an
needed
ace
that.
high.
I needed that. I've been waiting for a good hand for about 2 weeks on this bloody game. Thank you, GG. Thank you.
I
First
feel
one
like
I've
you
had.
seem to be saying that a lot over the last 2 weeks. I needed that. I
Well,
really
in
needed that.
fairness, when I've been dealt what I think's bad hands, I folded, and then my cards have come out. Whenever I've had what looks like a good hand, a good base hand, I've gone, oh, nothing's happened. But no, I'm not that keen on Nkunku, to be honest. If we could get him on loan again, though, but I'm not that worried about Garnacho leaving. I think he's a good player, but I'm not sort of sitting there and thinking to myself, top class. It's the end of the world if he goes. I also understand Man United's financial situation, and it's something that needs to be fixed, and it's been ignored. I was talking to a few of the financial experts about this. It's not even as simple as the billionaires paying the debt off, because if you pay the debt off, essentially all the profit you can then make from that is deductible under PSR and FFP rules. So it all has to be paid off by the income of the football club. I'm still trying to clarify a few things on that, and it's weird. Suddenly the financial experts are not answering the questions, which I find to be very, very strange indeed. But yeah, I'm not against it. It's more about who you bring in as a replacement. I think a lot of United fans are panicking about it. But if the replacement comes in and does a better job than Garnacho, those same Man United fans will very, very quickly stop worrying and stop panicking. So yeah, I'm just kind of keeping my powder dry on that one, if I'm being honest.
Do you reckon there's any...
Who's the replacement supposed to be?
Well, I can only go by who we're linked to. So we're linked to Cunha. We've been linked to Tyler Dibling. There's Mbomo that we're linked to. And again, it's not even about who those individuals are. If though they come in and do a better job, then I'm kind of relaxed. You know, I'm just not gonna. What I'm not gonna do with everything my club's got going on is every single decision. I'm not gonna just sort of panic and over criticize and show my ass for every single decision that's made. I'm going to just kind of stay a little more relaxed, really.
Terry, can I ask you a question? Sorry, mate. Can I ask you a question, Terry? So, like,
yeah,
obviously, Amorim hasn't had the best start to life as Manchester United manager and all that type of stuff. Obviously, you know, there'll be pressure on him. Do you think Manchester United are in it with Amorim for the long term, regardless of results this season?
They've said they are. So I'm going to take the new regime and the new people in charge at their word at this point. And this is the thing, we're not really going to know until 2 or 3 years down the line. And I've not been happy, as I've said on other shows, about every single decision that's been made by the new ownership. However, at the same time, I'm just not going to panic about everything. I think it's one of the analogy I gave yesterday is it's like going into Homebase and buying some seeds to grow a lemon tree. And essentially every day staring at the pot of dirt after you've planted the seed and screaming that there's no lemons yet. And I think that Man United fans, there are things to criticize, absolutely. But in terms of, are they in this for the long haul? Will they build a brilliant footballing team? Because I said it a few weeks ago and I stand by it. Regardless of good, bad, or indifferent decisions the owners are making, we all know 90% of the fans, if we're winning trophies, will no longer care or talk about the bad things they have or haven't done. It will all be about that we're winning. The problem is we just don't know what we don't know. And I find it really hard to invest negative energy every day, panicking about whether or not it's going to work. I think we just need to give it a little bit of time. And it doesn't mean I agree with every single decision, but I just feel there's a lot of over-analyzing sort of every single step of the way, if that makes sense. So yeah. It's almost like I've said before, if we get rid of Garnacho and we bring in Cunha and he's amazing and he's scoring goals and we're looking brilliant, no one's going to care. Like, no one's really going to care at Man United if we improve as a football team. And yeah, so from my perspective, I'm kind of relaxed about it, if I'm being honest.
Because my concern for United, it's not really a concern, is that, like, if they've moved to this three at the back system,
your hope,
you get it. But like, if they've moved to this three at the back system and they think that Amorim's the one, that changes their long-term planning. It changes the transfers. It's a big pivot from a four at the back. Like, they've got to fully invest in Amorim, and if he just doesn't get results and he can't get results, then what the hell are they going to do? Because they're going to change pretty much everything to suit him, and then probably get a forward the back manager in and change it all back again, which doesn't sound like a well-run club to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've heard a lot of people talk about that. I'm not particularly, for 300, I might as well go in on this. Oh, thank you. Again, you look at the sort of profiles. The only player so far that we're looking like we're going to get is young Patrick Dogu, who can play as a wing back. He can play as a fullback. He can play as a right-sided attacker. So 30 million euros has been so we're probably going to end up paying around 30 million euros for him, 30 35 million euros, which, I mean, look, it's City that get a lot of praise are just about spent about 30 million on a player just as young who hasn't even played in Europe yet. So again, I think it's a going rate price. But when you look at him positionally and where he plays in positions where he could quite considerably play in a different manager's system, you would think positionally. So I do get your point. If we build a squad, if we buy a centre-back who can only play in a back three, and then we get rid of Amorim and we bring somebody in that cannot play a back three as a manager, then I'll criticize it. The problem I have is that until that happens, I just don't see because we could apply that logic to a lot of teams and a lot of clubs. Well, what if Liverpool have just spent £100 million on a player? What if under the next manager, that guy's not suited?
Mate, I wish Liverpool had spent £100 million on a player.
But you get my point. We could apply that logic to most clubs.
Yeah, but Manchester United have just done it with the sporting director. The one that they chased for months and months, sat him on gardening leave. You are looking at something that has just happened.
Yes, I understand that, but Liverpool have been well run for a long time, and I give them praise. But in between Edwards leaving and Edwards coming back, you hired new sporting directors that then didn't last very long. Mistakes happen, and I just think that I understand them being questioned, and I've called them out and I've condemned them as well. The only thing I'm not doing is overanalyzing and panicking at every single decision, because I just feel it's a waste of energy, really and truly, to worry about all these things. And it's a fair challenge and it's a fair cop, and it might end up coming true. But I think because we're at the beginning of a very long and difficult process of fixing a club, and I did tweet about this yesterday. I've been calling a lot of this stuff out for years, the financial black holes, the direction we're going in, all the things the Glazers are doing. And most of the time I was told, don't blame the Glazers, they spend loads of money. Don't blame the Glazers, they don't pick the team. So now that we're seeing almost the problems they created laid bare, everybody suddenly wants to talk about my ownership and the direction that we're going in. And I'll be honest, and I don't even want to sound rude, I'm at a point where if you weren't interested in talking about the owners of Man United for the last 19 years, and I'm not talking about you lot on this show, I'm talking about the people in my community on the terrace, I've said to them, I'm not that interested in talking to you guys about it now, because you told me to shut the fuck up for the best part of 8 years when I was trying to speak about these problems. So I just find it a little bit convenient that suddenly everybody cares about how we're operating and how we're run. I find it to be very performative, to say the least.
Do you think there's a bit of Amorim that's kind of regretting this mid-season move now, because he's in press conferences saying we're the worst Man United side, like that in recent years. He's reportedly punching TV screens in the dressing room. He was at a sporting side doing well in the Champions League. They've beaten Man City 4-1. They're looking to qualify. They're looking to challenge for another league title. They're probably going to win the league again. And now he's coming to this shit show where you're basically all over the place. He's losing games every single week. He's, potentially, if things go even worse, if things get too bad, he could potentially be out of a job, and all of a sudden his reputation's taken a massive hit. Do you reckon there's what we're seeing at the moment from him in some certain interviews and press conferences is that frustration about this mid-season move? Maybe he's starting to think, should I have actually agreed to it?
I think there's some frustration. Do I believe that he regrets it? No, I don't think he's sitting there going, I should not have made this move. He wanted to come in the summer as opposed to mid-season. That was always his personal preference.
That's my point. Mid-season as opposed to the summer instead of waiting.
It is what it is. Listen, him punching a screen and getting angry in the dressing room, I'm all for that. I think I just don't look at these things as being overly abnormal for teams. I always remember when there was that fight between Balotelli and another player in the City team, and the media tried to do this whole like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Only for loads of pro footballers to go, this happens at training every week. What you're making a big deal for. Man United are not in a good space. We are changing how we play football in the middle of a season. We should have started it in the summer. I've said that all along. But there was always going to be this ups and downs and these bumps in the road. The manager, this is the thing. Everything that's gone on the pitch since he's been here.
You sound like a Spurs fan, Terry.
No, not really. Not really.
I was just thinking the same thing.
But not really. I think everything that's happened on the pitch in the last 2 months, go back and watch the first 2 interviews that the manager did for Man United. I'm sure none of you actually sat there and watched it. Go and watch it. Everything that's happened, he said would happen. He said there's going to be some great weeks, and there have been. He says there's going to be some weeks whilst we're changing everything where we get exposed and embarrassed, and we have to ride that storm out together. So for me, I listened to what he said, and I believed him in the beginning, and everything he has said. Now, we don't know which games are going to be good, which games are going to be bad, but that's why I'm just not panicking, because everything he said would happen is. You listen to the Sporting fans. This happened in the first 6 months he was there. I'm just not impressed about it. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, great, Al. Look at that, 3 of a kind.
Oh wow,
I'm enjoying it. But on Chelsea, I just want to bring it back to them because that was the original question. A lot of their fans are saying if we're going to drop £60 million on a player, it should be on a bagsman, a really good goal scorer, a better goalkeeper. Does it strike people as strange that they're again going for another kid as opposed to bringing in more experience to take them to the next level?
Well, I don't think he starts for them. I think, is he the guy to come in to replace Mudryk in terms of squad numbers? I don't think he's better than Sancho or Neto.
How long is Mudryk out for with this ban?
4 years, apparently.
4 years?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my God, they signed him to a 10-year.
Yeah, they reckon there's a good chance. They reckon there's a good chance it could get negotiated down like Pogba's did, but Garnacho is not a better player for me than Sancho or Neto or Nkunku. So 60, 70 million pounds, you got an you got an Osimhen in Turkey who would come in and make them contenders for me. And I don't know why no one's signing him. Like, does Garnacho massively improve Chelsea's squad? For me, no. But on United's side of things, he doesn't fit their system properly. He is an academy player, isn't he? So it'll be 100% profit. So it makes a lot of sense. If you can get 60, 70 million pounds for a guy that doesn't fit the system and his profit, I don't see why not. And then that United can address what they actually need. But Chelsea, nah. I don't even think he starts for Spurs. No, actually, no, it's a bit far. That's a bit far. Now he does start for Spurs, but man, what is it with these poor hands? Yeah, like I don't think they should be spending £70 million or £60 million on him.
Yeah, I've never really seen it with that much with Garnacho. I just don't see the need.
He's a moments player.
I think he's he's got a lot of pace. He's very direct. He goes at people. He loses the ball a lot, but he'll also come out on top in a lot of scenarios. But I just don't see how him going to Chelsea changes anything for them, really. I don't see the improvement there. And in terms of signing a striker, they got Nkunku and they've got Jackson there, who are both, for me, 2 good players. If you can't make it work with those 2 strikers as your players, then that's not the issue there. I think for me, they need a bit more depth in midfield. They've got Caicedo, Enzo. They need one more player in midfield, and I think defenders. That's the big problem for them. They're just not great at the back.
Who's got the flush?
6,000 in the pot.
Oh, no flush.
Kings.
Boom, boom.
Terry is.
Let's go, baby.
Roving.
Right,
Terry.
come on now.
He's going to start bullying now. That's what Terry.
Any chance I can get a decent hand?
Yeah, it's tough when the blinds go up as well.
The
when
blinds
you're
are
on
starting
low.
to go up as well, aren't they? So it's yeah.
Could be in trouble here. Yeah, I think this might be it for Hugh. This might be it, I feel.
Unless he's got
a
5 and a 9.
I mean, why didn't you go all in there, Hugh?
Wow. Oh, there's going to be a split pot, surely.
Unless someone's got a pocket 6s or something. Oh! Bye-bye.
I got to take
you out. I got to take you out this week. I had to take him out this week.
God, the pockets.
I've actually, in fairness, I've had 4 or 5 blinders in a row, to be fair.
Jeez, he's absolutely rocketing up.
Wow, that was crazy. Hey, how have we got like nearly an hour into this stream and not spoken, by the way, about how Tottenham Hotspur have been?
We got to win. There's nothing to talk about. We got to win 3 points. Come on, people. We've the taste of victory is sweet. Especially when absence makes the heart grow fonder, and the taste of victory.
Come on, Tim. It was
lovely.
It was
Lovely,
a painful second half to
away
watch.
from home. Come on, 3 points in a European game, never easy. We had 5 teenagers on the pitch by the end of the game, and we got over the line. That is what it's all about: grit and determination. At the end of the day, did I win with a pair of 5s? Come on.
What about the game at the weekend, though, Sim?
Yeah,
What game of the weekend?
It feels
Was
slightly
it an
more
Everton
important,
game or
slightly
something, was
bigger.
it?
Was there a game of the weekend? I don't remember.
Relegation.
Look, Ange, that game was completely on Ange. I'll completely accept that. I think he went to a back three, it backfired. I think it was a stupid idea, to be honest, because he's admitted that Tottenham at the moment aren't spending too much time on the training ground, because literally they're just spending time recovering at the moment.
Did he say how long that's been happening for, Sim?
What?
Did he say how long you've not been training for? Because it could be a while, mate.
Yeah, I mean, probably like 2 months, I would say. But we literally, because we've got so few players, we've literally got 11 or 12 fit players at the moment. They've just been spending the time recovering, and they don't really have time to do tactical setups and all these different things.
Hang on. Chris has gone all in here.
I've had to.
Chris has gone all in.
Got to,
What's
haven't
Emery
you?
going to do? Is Emery going to bottle it? Is he going to be Spursy? Oh, he's not in. Oh, he's got 7. Oh!
Oh!
What's the last one going to be? What's it going to be?
Don't be
imagine it's an ace.
Don't be an ace or a jack. Get in.
Hey, bye, Emery.
Henry's gone.
Well, I ain't bottom anymore, which is nice. You're right down the bottom, Henry, I'd say.
What's happened there? Oh, here we go.
There we go. Right, there we go.
You can probably explain to us now whether you are Ange in or Ange out then, Henry.
Oh, silly question. Yeah, I'm still Ange out, but I will. You've got to give credit for winning away in Europe, albeit it was against a poor side. But like Sim said, injuries are depleting us. In terms of the Leicester game, if we give them 20 attempts, Jamie Vardy will at least score 3 of them. We can't. I understand that I understand it's a massive game last night for us in terms of our European qualification hopes to get through to the next round. But it was like the players were just reserving energy at that point. As soon as we got that second goal, it was like, right, that is it. Just see the game out now, which is okay. But
waiting on a straight as well. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, they're both on a straight with the same card. That's brilliant. Sorry.
When I look at the Leicester game, they're fighting for their lives, and if for whatever reason we don't win that game, after the Elfsborg game, our run of fixtures is horrible. Brentford away, Villa away, and Liverpool away, back to back to back. And at the moment, we're trying to sign Brian Bobby from Ajax, who's got 1 goal in 18 games. We might as well go and get Calvert-Lewin.
Is he a striker?
Yeah, we don't need a
buy
striker.
strikers from the Dutch
Scoring
league.
goals is not our weakness. We need to keep them out and actually get a bit of stability in the midfield. I don't understand why Kulusevski played another 90 minutes.
Well played.
90 minutes in a row.
Well played, Sim.
What are his other options? Is Johnson on the bench?
No, but someone like Son, for instance, could have played a 90, because Kulu for me is the most important part of our team. He's the one this season who's been the shining light, putting in 7, 8 out of 10 performances every single week. If he gets an injury, I lose hope right now of us actually turning this around. He's the one I look at and just think that when he's on it, there's a chance we can actually do something. Like, for instance, Lancashire should have come on earlier. Pedro Porro and Kula are being run into the ground because we don't have decent cover. Archie Gray now in his professional career.
Teenagers.
Sorry?
We ended the game with 5 teenagers.
I know.
That's the state of our squad at the moment.
That's when you got to look at the board and go, what are Daniel Levy and Enid keep coming out saying they're behind Ange, he's the guy, they're going to back him. Then prove it and go and actually fucking buy some players. Because what we're doing at the moment is ridiculous.
I agree. It's a disgrace. This window has been a disgrace. We've known since the beginning of December that this injury crisis wasn't going to let up probably until the beginning of March time, and we haven't started basically looking at players or signing players. We should have done this right at the beginning of the window. We shouldn't be waiting to the end, because let's be honest, if we only wait to the end of the window, the damage could already be done. for our season. We could be out of all the cups. We could literally be mired in a relegation battle if we don't get any players through the door. And they knew this from the beginning of December. And that is, I think, a disgrace on the board and the club's part, because this isn't something that's crept up on them. This is something that we knew was going to happen. That we knew that was the situation, and we've allowed it to persist.
Sim, do you not think? Sorry to cut you off. Do you not think the amount of injuries we are getting is a little bit? Something's clearly going wrong with our medical department. Like,
well,
I said this last week, and when you throw in the extra injuries we've got now, Solanke being out for longer than we thought, we've had more injuries since the start of last season than any team in the Premier League. And the injury when they're first actually getting quote unquote injured, when the news finally comes out, they're out for stupid time. Romero should have been back at the beginning of the month. There now reports coming out that he's not back till mid-February. Van der Ven's in training, won't be fit until mid-February. But when Alistair Gold first dropped the news, it was only supposed to be a couple of weeks. What the fuck are our medical team doing? Like, what is going on there?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the big problem with our season with injuries is that players are getting re-injured. So Romero, Van der Ven, Odegaard, Ben Davis, who else came back? There's, I think, another one as well. About 5 of our players have come back from injury. Richarlison, that was it. So 5 of our players have got injured, been out for like a few weeks, come back, and then within one game, got immediately re-injured. And for me, I think that has to be down to the medical team. How the medical team allowing these players to come back onto the pitch and calling them fit, and then within one game then getting injured again and getting injured for long periods. And that's why Tottenham have restructured the medical team in the last few weeks. They've got a new head of medical. They've got a new conditioning head of conditioning as well. They've decided that's who they've held accountability for, and they've decided that that's going to be the decision they've taken. And I think that's the right decision, because when you've got players coming back from injury and they're immediately going down, that means you haven't done the right things when, in my opinion, when you're kind of preparing them for a return or when you're getting them to recover from injury. And for me, that has to be on the medical team. They have to take responsibility for that. And I know Conte, I know Mourinho, they all complained about the medical team. They were all had big... They had all big reservations about the medical team. I think that's well documented, and I think they have to take responsibility for this for the shit show that we're in. And
Sim, do you think we'll beat Leicester?
Do I think we'll beat Leicester?
Because bearing in mind, it's going to be the same team that played last night. We'll then have to play another full 90 against Leicester.
I think we'll scrape it. I think Leicester, I know we're awful, but they've lost 7 in a row and they're getting battered every week. So I've just got a feeling it'll be like a 2-1. We'll just about scrape over the line. But that's the situation we're in. We've got to take any point we can. We just can't get dragged into any sort of talk about relegation or anything like that. We have to just avoid that situation at all costs. So I think we will just about get the win over the line on...
Do any of you, like, open it up to the panel? Do you guys think we can beat Leicester?
Yeah. Leicester are worse than you. Come on now.
Do you not think they'll be coming in? I think we'll get past, like Sim said, scrape past, but do you not think they'll be coming to our ground with their towels up thinking, hang on, this lot are on their knees. They've got their injury crisis.
Yeah, but they're on their knees.
Yeah, exactly. But it gives them hope, thinking we can get something here.
I know. I didn't.
I can see a draw. I can see
Leicester will be licking their lips. Yeah,
struggling right now, and you probably take a draw. It's going to be probably not as sort of high tempo a game as we're used to, if only because they have played so recently. But yeah, I can see a world in which Leicester do win. I think Tottenham are really in the mud. It's not mud, it's quicksand, and they're struggling right now. There's a hand poking out the top. But
if we lose to Leicester.
Well, you said that last time. You said that, when we were doing this stream 2 weeks ago, you said if we lose to Everton, the proverbial is going to hit the fan, and I'm done.
But Hugh, the scoreline doesn't look bad in hindsight. Losing 3-2, that's us to a T. We've been battered against Galatasaray, but only lost 3-2. We were outplayed by Chelsea, but only lost by 1 goal. And I think a lot of these scorelines, if it was a 3-0, the media would be gunning on Ange right now. But I don't see any heat at all. I don't see anyone right now.
Everyone's here. What do you mean no heat? You're every night streaming.
Yeah, only it's. I'm not. I seem to be. I'm not out here trying to be, the one to say I told you so. But
You're going to say I told you so.
I probably will, yeah. But I don't see a lot of rival fans at the moment saying, why is this guy still in a job?
Oh,
I'm going to be blunt.
Don't see that.
But that's
No, I don't. Honestly,
You
I
don't
don't
see
see
that.
that.
Everyone's
Henry.
wondering.
I'm going to be blunt with you though, bruv.
Don't say it's because we're Tottenham.
No, but it is partly. It's because
Yeah, but come on, what we...
No, but
and you know what it is as well. It's gone past the sort of the banter thing, and it's now pity. And when it's pity, you don't want to take the mick. Do you know what I mean? That's where we're at. This is sad to see. When I watch him doing press conferences or interviews post match, it's like I hope he's okay, because the body language that he's giving off it's not confident. It doesn't fill me with hope for you, that's for sure.
I think most managers are like that when they lose games, and I think the
they're
situation where they are. I think the situation we're in.
At the floor.
He does that when we win. He does that when we win. It's not about
he
just.
does it. No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, he doesn't.
He does. He
If
does.
you go, it's a lie, right? If you go back and look at his body language on that 10-game winning streak, his shoulders were back and up, his head was there. Good eye, mate. Now he's staring at his shoes. That's not lie. Oh, hang on, Chris has gone all in here. Has Sim got the ball back?
I think I do.
Oh, here we go. Right, what we gonna see?
Oh, pause. Come on,
right,
give
let's
me
see what the flop David is.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
Come on now.
What's his last card? Be a 4. Oh wow.
Get in.
Hey, Sim's out.
I'm not out.
Oh no. Sorry. No, he had less than you.
Yeah.
He had less than you.
But
Chris is now taking over.
Oh, that was a big one.
Oh,
that's what she said.
No, but I think in the situation that we're in, of course, he understands that it's going to be a massive struggle until we start getting players back to start winning games, and he understands the situation. That's probably why he's a bit dejected at the moment, and he's probably frustrated that we haven't got any new signings, and he's frustrated with the situation. But I think you've seen his his demeanor in recent weeks. I'm saying maybe not at the start. I think you're right, but in recent weeks, even when we win. One sec. I am gonna...
Mate, these blinds are getting high now. I needed to win that last one.
Oh, he's gone in.
Oh, hello.
Come on, Terry. Come on. Come to join the party, Terry.
Let's go in.
No way.
Let's go in.
Let you two battle that one out.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, it's the same one. Oh!
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that.
Nothing. You've won.
It doesn't matter as a 5 because I got them 3 kings, baby.
Wow.
Love it, mate. Love it.
Wow.
That's
See
Man
you
United,
later,
Tottenham
Sim.
right there. That's the heritage. That's the real heritage.
Wow.
Right there.
That was a tasty couple of hands there. What a
Honestly,
blunder.
I went from top to out in 2 hands. Oh.
Yeah, man.
That's Spursy for you. That is
Spursy. That is very, very Spursy.
But I think, Ange, I think he generally does believe that once we can get these players back, we can start to turn things around. But I think most managers with this kind of strain on their squad, it's going to take its toll, especially when it's been happening for 2 months. It's not like it's been happening for a few games. This situation hasn't let up. And even this week, we've lost another 2 players. We lost Sarr, we lost Basuma. It's continuously happening. And I genuinely believe that when we're in full flight and we're at our best, and not even at our best, we have players to choose from, we can be a very hard team to play against, and we can blow teams away, and we can potentially do something in the cups. But at this point, after the Everton game, I did start to question, is he going to make it there? Is he going to even make it to when we start getting our players back? Because at the moment, that seems too far away for him, and he's going to keep losing games week in, week out, and we are getting perilously close to that relegation zone, and we can't be dragged out into a relegation battle. So I understand that. I do, which is why it was important yesterday we got a win, and we have to win on Sunday just to stop that kind of talk from happening and allow him just to get to that stage where we get the players back. But at the moment, it's like the problem what I see is, if I'm giving a poker analogy, like, he's so aggressive with the way he plays. It's like he's got a 7-2 in his hand and he's going all in every hand, and he's kind of like and obviously he's losing, but he just needs some pocket aces. He needs an ace king he needs that strong hand that he can use. But at the moment, he's got a bad hand, but he's playing it horribly as well, and I acknowledge that.
Do you not think, even if we beat Leicester with the fixtures we've got coming up, and the amount of injuries we've got, I don't see how he survives.
Because we've got Romero Van de Ven coming back next week. You know,
yeah, but they were supposed to be back bloody earlier this month.
I know, but
and you know what will happen is
Romero's back in training. Romero's back in
training. Yeah, I know he's back.
So
we'll end up rushing him back, and then he'll get injured again.
Hugh, can I ask you a question? Just like listening to the Spurs fans. It's quite beautiful, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Let me just read to you guys after the Everton game. Let me read you our next 10 games: Brentford away, Liverpool away, Villa away, Man United at home, Ipswich away, City at home, Bournemouth at home, Fulham away, Chelsea away.
Just reading out fixtures. It's not...
No, but that run of games.
Those are games. You're losing 50% of those games.
More than that.
Yeah.
We're not going to go to Brentford the way we're playing and win.
50% of those games.
You think we'll win more than 50%?
If we have players, yeah.
If we have players.
Wait a minute.
We don't have any players.
Sim, though. Since November 2023, with and without players, your win percentage has been 31%. So what makes you think you're going to start winning?
There's context to that, though, Terry. There is
no, not over 18 and a half fucking months.
There is.
Not over 18 and a half, over a year, 18 months. Well over a year. There's no context.
There is context to that. Because, last season, you're talking about last season, we obviously had that first 10 games, right? And we obviously were pretty good, and everyone says that was a fluke, whatever. We then had a bit of an injury crisis, but after that, but in one game we lost Romero, Van de Ven, Doggy, and Maddison to suspension and injuries. We then lost 4 games in a row. But then for the next 16 games, we actually won 10 and drew 3. So we actually had top 4 form for about 16 games during that period. Everyone says after the first 10 games we were rubbish. It's not true. We actually had top 4 form for a sustained period. What happened was in the last 6 games of the season, we ended up losing 5 of them because we played the top 5. And obviously it's not an excuse to lose all of them, but that's, there's games we didn't really expect to win. And then this season, I think we were doing okay up until the injury crisis. We were 6th. We were 4 points off second. So we're doing pretty well. Like, I'm not saying it was amazing, but, it wasn't as it ended now.
We're on a break. Like Ross and Rachel. How do you... we've never got this far into a game before, have we? There you go. Can you skip it, or do we have to sit here and... I mean, I don't need the break. Terry needs the break. I saw what you were trying to do there. Entrapment you were going for then, mate. I had to look at you over here on a couple of hands because I was seeing if you've got any tells or anything because my screen's too far away over there, but you've got a good poker face, mate.
Okay, Sim, so let me ask you a question. What percentage of blame would you put on Ange Postecoglou since November for us being in the position we're in now? So let's say you put 50% of it down to the injuries. Is the other 50% down to Ange? Yeah, how much percentage would you... 30%.
30%.
Have you ever seen a team get this?
Sometimes it does just go like that, though, as well, Henry. Sometimes you just get loads of seasons, injuries. Arsenal have had it 2 years pretty much without major injuries, I think. Yeah, we didn't have a backline. We didn't have a backline a few years ago, mate, and we ended up playing Henderson there and Fabinho, and then he just went, you know what, this is stupid. I'm going to play a young Reece Williams and a Nat Phillips, and shockingly enough, the centre-backs were actually better.
Oh my word. Oh my God. %31%, mate. 31%. I love watching you defend, and honestly, bruv, I hope that one day I hope my kids defend me as much as you do when I'm older, and my loved ones love me as much as you love Ange. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I have a super chat here. Sorry, go on.
I think Sim's audio might have gone. Joe, is that right? Has Sim's audio gone?
Yeah.
I think you might have to. Sorry, Terry. I think you might have to just leave and come back in.
See, Cronkies.
Yeah, that'll do it. I don't know whether I think he's just got to do it from another computer, to be honest with you. Get back to your super chat if you want, mate. Can't hear you, mate. Terry's audio's gone as well. Yeah, I don't know why, mate. Do you want to leave and come back in? Yeah, we've got about 45 seconds here as well. Henry, can you just count to 5 for me? Can you hear him, Joe? Count again, mate.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, he's
Even
back.
my audio's
You're back, mate. Yeah, you're back. I can hear you fine, Hugh. Do you want to carry the conversation while we do this? It was you last week. It's them this week. What? Hugh's just gone now. Hugh, you need to leave and come back in. Your audio's gone now. Yeah? Right, bloody hell. Leave the Zoom room and come back in.
Is that better?
Can you hear him?
Hello? Hello? Okay. Yeah.
Just hang on one sec. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me? Okay, so we've got everyone now. Okay, we haven't got Hugh and Terry on.
How's the poker stream gone, Spursy?
Just. Joe, do you need him to leave? You need to leave, mate, but carry on playing the poker. I honestly think he's. I really respected him in the beginning for instilling your principles and all that. Like when everyone was losing their head about the high line and the 9 men, I was like, do you know what? I think a manager has to put their plan across. But like we're 18 months in now and the plan's not working. And I know there's loads of injuries. I get that. Trust me. Like, you know, we've lived through that. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I think it was just his style, despite the injuries, if I can remember, which I'm struggling a little because of all the audio issues we've got going on, to be honest, to hold the conversation at the same time. Hello, everyone. Sorry about the audio issues. We're still waiting on Sim to join us again. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Hopefully the audio does sort of stay with us. Me and Terry have continued to play poker. It's continued to be fun, and we'll join the conversation up where we were last time, whereas I think we were talking about Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, we were talking about, Hugh was saying that I was delusional. And I don't see at the moment how wanting a manager out as 15th is delusional, where he was talking about Sim.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're just starting a new Zoom meeting with everybody to try and get this all sorted, and we'll see where we go from here. I'm literally sending the links to everybody as we speak, but the game of poker's still going on. Me and Terry are in a massive battle here, to be honest with you, which has been mental while all this is going on as well. So it's been crazy. So massive apologies to everyone for the problems that we've had so far. Hopefully with the new Zoom meeting, we'll be able to continue the game in such a way that you guys can hear everybody and all their opinions and everything else. So I think that's probably right now the most important thing, that we get this game done and dusted. We don't want you to miss the end of this in any way, shape or form. We want to just carry on. But as you can see there, me and Terry are in an epic battle. There's like 6 high on the table, so there's a run on the go here. Probably a 7 or a 2 would be good out now, but I can't imagine that Terry went in with a 7 or 2. So it's likely that the straight is there. Which means it's probably likely to be a split pot at this point. Am I right in saying that? Oh, Terry, are you suggesting you've got a 7, my friend? Well, I'm not. You tried to cheat me out of that one, though, there, to be fair, mate. You nearly had me. You nearly had me then, mate. I was so close to folding on that for you for having a 7. Oh, these blinds are massive now. It's all in or out, isn't it? Yeah, and hopefully we can get Terry on the screen as soon as possible as well, because right now you're looking at me in a game of poker, which is a bit of a mad one. But it is what it is right now. I'm on 14,000 chips. Terry's on 8,000 chips. How did that happen? No, 10,000 chips and I'm on 11. Just tell us, mate. I can't. Oh, passcode. He's in it. He's in here already. Oh, mate, this is wild. Yeah, if you could get Terry on the screen and then the others, that'd be great, mate. Literally don't know what's happened here. I've never had this problem before, so apologies, everybody. Just talk to Joe for us, everybody. Count to 5. Yeah, we still haven't got you, Terry. Have you got is the right mic attached to the Zoom? On loan. I don't know what on earth is going on here, to be honest with you. It's absolutely ridiculous. We just can't seem to get the audio working. Have you got any suggestions, Joe? We're live just for the poker and me, basically, at the moment. But Joe doesn't understand what's going on. I don't really understand what's going on. But the poker's going to finish, isn't it? So... No, the stream can only hear me. Have you got Hugh talking? No, it's just me and Henry, apparently. Oh, wow. Oh, no! No! Your viewers got to see it because we're live. Oh, Teddy's won it. He's won it. And the live in-person poker showdown is next week. I'm sorry, Terry, there's no point in you talking. I'm the only one on the stream. So I've kind of just got to go with it, mate. The live in-person poker showdown, we will be recording it this Monday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so sorry about the audio issues that we were getting throughout the night. It was a terrible end to what has been 3 fantastic evenings. I'm guessing at this point it might put me top of the leaderboard. We'll keep an eye on our socials. We'll let you know tomorrow morning, of course. But yeah, big thank you to Hugh Wizzy, to the Football Terrace for hosting, Henry Wright TV. We are Tottenham TV as well. If you're on Red Men, check out their channels. If you're on their channels, check out our channels. The conversation has been absolutely fantastic. Go and check out GGPoker. It is the world's biggest online poker room for a reason. 25 million up for grabs. So yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the videos, and we'll see you soon for the in-person finale. Ta-ra.